up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's Angel the Psych MP via the Mental Demic. And if you are new here, welcome. And if you are old here, welcome back. Today I want to talk about what is self-awareness, what are some of the benefits of self-awareness, and how do you achieve self-awareness. Self-awareness is knowing who you are, how that pertains to your behavior, your emotions, your characteristics, your traits, your personality, all those things that make you who you are, but also being aware of how those things affect you negatively or positively. That's what your self-awareness is. Are you aware? Are you able to look objectively at yourself? If you have people around you that constantly tell you the same thing about yourself, and let's say, for instance, it's something that's negative, that they call you out on it a lot, and you say something like, that's just who I am. But self-awareness will be able to look at what the people around you are saying about you and objectively taking a look at that and see how it impacts you in a good way or a bad way. If somebody around you keeps saying, your attitude is bad when it comes down to this and that, and then you heard it before from somebody else, and you heard it a couple times, maybe you need to look at that in an objective way to say, why do I behave like this? What is it about what they're saying that's offending me or making me respond that way or behave that way? Having self-awareness helps you take care of yourself in a better way. I can guarantee you that if you don't know who you are, you have a hard time providing self-care for yourself and taking care of yourself. Anybody can tell you anything about yourself and you just go with it because you don't know who you are. So being self-aware will help you take better care of yourself. And it helps us grow as people. I'm not the same person I was in my 20s. Because why? I could look at myself from now to in my 20s, and there had to be some self-awareness going on because I wouldn't dare do some of the stuff that I did in my 20s now. Same for my 30s. Things I may have put up with in my 30s, not today. I'm not putting up with in my 40s. That's why, because I have self-awareness. I know who I am. I know what I want. I constantly evaluate relationships or friendships and see how they affect me in a good or a bad way, or what could I do differently to have made the situations better, and then you improve on it. That's how that's what true self-awareness is. It's not that you taking what people say and you just believe in everything people say about you, because I know in this generation, we like to say, I don't care what people think or whatever. It's not looking at it from that perspective. It's looking at it from a perspective of, if everybody ain't telling the same lie, if everybody around you saying that, yo, when this happens, you be spazzing out, you act really crazy when this happens, it might be a trigger point for you that you need to evaluate objectively. An example of something with self-awareness is, let me use myself. One thing that I've always been told was that I look mean. So people would see me out and it was like, why are you always looking so mean? Or guys would tell me that they didn't approach me, because I look mean. So I had to take some self-awareness into it, because I'm not looking at myself when I go out. I don't feel like I look mean, but people always tell me that. So now when I go out places, I'm making a conscious decision to smile or, just not hold a mean face. I honestly don't know what that looked like. I'm still trying to work on the self-awareness of that. But I'm truly not a mean person, and I'm truly not intentionally trying to look mean. It ain't my goal to scare no man off. You know what I mean? So, but I hear it from men and women, not necessarily my friends, because I guess they used to me looking that way and they know that I'm not mean. But people who, may want to be my friends, or nurses who I've met, and they've told me once we became friends and said things like, you used to look so mean. We see you on your page or whatever, and you look like you have a good time, but you look mean and unapproachable. And I promise you, I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm not doing it on purpose. I don't want to run anybody off, especially not no man that could potentially be my husband somewhere. That's another video though. I say that to say I have self-awareness of it now. I'm consciously like thinking like, am I looking mean? And trying to smile and, not, I guess, look mean. That's kind of a hard one because it's not a thought. It's a presentation that I can't see when I'm, out myself versus something that's a thought or someone telling you about an attitude or something like that that you can adjust because you can intentionally not be mean or intentionally not be rude if that's something that people are telling you and you need to make some self-awareness about it. So it's a little bit different, but it's the same application that needs to be applied. I need to be aware and take an inner look and say, maybe I do look mean. Everybody telling me that, so I need to work on it. So there are a lot of benefits that come along with being self-aware. One of them is that it's going to make you a better communicator. The reason being is because you're going to think about things before you say it, and you're going to be more aware in conversations that you're having with people when people have said, you know what, the way you say things sometimes is come off a little bit harsh. So now you're going to become a better communicator with people because if you care enough about yourself being a better person, you're going to take that note and say, you know what, when I go out, I'm going to try not to sound so harsh when I talk. I don't want to offend anybody. That has never been my goal, to offend anybody. So I'm going to work on that. So you're going to consciously be thinking about being a better communicator if that's one of the things that people have told you. Another thing self-awareness brings is confidence, because when you know who you are on a, interpersonally, when you know who you are, you're going to have more confidence when you're out and about. When you know who you are on the outside and the inside, just makes you a better person overall. It makes you way more confident. People can tell when you're not confident about something in conversation with you. I have been around so many people that at the start of a conversation, you'll say how you feel and they say how they feel. But then as you go on, they start to sway. And it's not because they have changed their position necessarily, but they want to fit in because they're not aware and they don't have a good self-awareness and they're not confident in the things that they're saying and believe. So they try to sway to fit the conversation. I'm not saying that you can't take what somebody's saying and, if it makes more sense to you or if they provided some logic to you, then you can potentially change your stance. But I'm talking about those people that just go with the flow of the water with everything. And the only thing go with the flow is dead fish. Like you have to have some self-awareness about yourself or you're going to go and flow with anything and anybody. And that's just dangerous. Straight up dangerous. Having self-awareness also allows you to have multiple perspectives on things. I can have my stance on what I may feel about politics. And you can have your stance on what you feel about politics. But because we're all self-aware, we know what we believe in, we know how things makes us feel emotionally, we can respect everybody's opinions about it and walk away from the conversation happy. If you're not self-aware though, you really don't respect other people's opinions and positions because you look at them as ignorant or whatever the case may be, and that's not necessarily the case. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. This is one of the good benefits of self-awareness, being able to manage your emotions. A lot of people out here out of control. We see it on the news every day. We see it on social media every day. The way people attack people under their comments and, all these things that we see every day, we know people don't have no kind of self-control. They don't know how to manage their emotions. For me, I have a lot of self-awareness. Always have, I feel like. But it was just appropriate to wherever I was in my life at that time. In my 20s, I had self-awareness of things that I was doing, but I was in my 20s. So it made sense for me at that time. Now, in my 40s, I look at things on social media and I may have a comment or opinion about some things, but I don't go under there attacking people for their opinion or their ignorance or whatever it may be, because Some of it you could look up and just say that's straight up, ignorance or disrespect or whatever it may be. But some of it you can look at some of the comments and you can say, you know what, that person has some standards and they know what they're talking about. And even though I don't agree with what they're saying, they're aware of what they're saying. They're aware of how that makes them feel. And it shows in the deliverance. Self-awareness has its benefits. And I think we all should strive to have a lot of self-awareness. It'll take you a long way in life. And because it's like self-care, how could you truly care for yourself if you don't know how you feel, who you are? You're easily swayed. Anybody could tell you anything and you just go with it because you don't know who you are. You transform to everybody you're around. No self-awareness. Wanting to fit in. I see people in their 40s still doing that right now today. No self-awareness. Ways to achieve self-awareness. Look deep inside of yourself. Even meditate, who am I? What do I want out of life? What do I believe in? How do I feel? Meditate on those things. Write them down. Write out the things that you're passionate about, things that you're firm on. Anything that comes to your mind first, necessarily when you say, who am I? Write it down. Look back on your life or where you are currently and see if that truly aligns with how you've always felt. You never really super comfortable when you know you're not being yourself. If you look at when you're out and about and you behave in a certain way and you feel uncomfortable, chances are you're not that person. You're just trying to fit in. You can learn to love yourself and be comfortable with who you are through self-awareness. But you got to dig deep sometime to see who is it exactly that you are. What is it exactly that you feel? And it's okay if that differs from everybody else. One of the reasons that everybody likes the unicorn is because it looks different. We haven't seen anything looked like it before. Colorful, the horn, it looks different. So everybody wants to be a unicorn, but not really. They like to say it because it sounds good, but not really. But be the unicorn. If you don't like something and if who you are is what people truly can't embrace, they'll adapt to it before you should be adapting to them. Another way to practice self-awareness is to read, watch, or listen to things like audiobooks or whatever it may be, so that you can listen to or watch how other people's thoughts differ from your own. And it also gives you a good sense of self-awareness and who you are, because you may totally disagree with something someone else is saying or someone else's beliefs, but it gives you self-awareness. You know what, this is who I am. Like, I don't agree at all with what these people who think or believe like this says. Religion, people listen to things and they belief systems on everything, and they pick a side, which side they want to be on based on how they feel internally and based on what they're listening to or reading. It gives them a good self-awareness of, I don't agree with that at all. I don't believe that. It'll help you gain self-awareness. Listening to others, reading about others, it helps you with self-awareness. Overall, self-awareness is a very important factor in developing who we are as people. If you don't have any self-awareness, like I said before in the video, you'll be flowing like this. Anyway, the wave flows, that's going to be you moving through life. No position, no direction, no stance on anything. You might as well be a puppet. I challenge you to tap into who you are via self-awareness and become a better version of you. And it constantly changes as you go through life, as you experience things, as you meet new people, and as you learn more and more things. You got to tap into self-awareness constantly. It's not a once and done. So let me know in the comments some things that you do to practice self-awareness, and we can talk about it in the comments. Like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. It's Angel the Psychic P, via the Mental Demic. Ciao.